All right. Oh, we're going now. Okay, cool.
More softball questions? Come on, give me something tough.
No, I mean, I was asking hard questions of players today, man.
And did they answer you?
I got one answer.
Who?
Hurt answered me. I asked who was the MVP of the team.
You want me to say who?
Well, you answered it too. I asked you the same question.
Amir.
Really?
Yeah.
You got an answer. That's good. I got 2 flakes. I got 2 people flaked on that question.
I don't have a problem with that because this is what we do.
Yeah.
I do it with my staff and they can do it with me. If we're doing a bad job, call someone out. We all want to be better. I don't know. I think Amir's playing great.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, there's always a political answer, but at some point, there has to be who's playing at the top of their game.
Yeah, I think he is. Before Manny got injured, I thought he was arguably up there as well too.
Yeah,
and then you talk about Diaz, who's leading the league in scoring. You know, you can go to and then Boosie's leading the league in assists. You can go to so many, and Callum, the game against Ottawa, the first game that we had there. I don't know, there's a lot of guys, but I think Amir has, when Lucas left us, that was the biggest question. And if we didn't have Amir in the back line, I don't think it'd be the same.
well, yeah, and it's just different roles, like, on the team.
Yeah, there's so many guys that are stepping up or trying to do their best, and and Hurd's done well too.
Yeah, we were talking to Hurd. Hurd has been labeled the workhorse of the team. What do you think about that?
Local boy, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
All right, well, this is going to be a weird one for you. Actually, no, I'll rephrase it for you. I was asking everyone about about playing pro soccer on the island. So I ask you, what is the positive and a negative aspect to hosting a pro soccer game here on the island?
Like just a regular season game or a CONCACAF League game?
Let's just make it complicated. How about a CONCACAF League game?
What's the pros?
Yeah, 1 pro and 1 con.
The pro is I got the city of Langford backing what we're doing, and we're going to sell this game out, and if we don't, that's on me, and now there's pressure on me. The cons, it's going to be tough because we play Cavalry on the 22nd. We either leave Saturday or Sunday to go to Kingston. That's a long trip. Then we play Valor on Saturday, and then we're either back in Langford on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's a tough ride.
That's going to be a tough week.
So in November, December, I was in January, get my times right because we won in December. In January, I was dealing with the league, and that's why the schedule was like 4 or 5 days later, is because it had to do with that middle game. And we thought that if we ended up in Nicaragua or Costa Rica or one of those countries down there, that Winnipeg would have been easier than Halifax. And Halifax was the option. We could have flipped one of the other to be a Halifax road or a Valor road. And I took the Valor road just because it's just closer to Victoria.
Yeah, and it just makes more sense trying to get flights, I think, too.
Yeah, so that's the toughest part of it. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So now that there are multiple sports leagues and other events ongoing right now, festivals, all that other stuff, how's that dealing with your attendance for soccer games?
Yeah, I don't really, we do what we do, and we try and cater to what we do well. I don't really, I've worked in sports for too many years now, and there's always a long weekend, there's always a beer fest, there's always a play, there's always music. It is what it is, and we just got to buckle down and do what we do well and support the boys. If you like what we do, come out, and not even the soccer fan. We just want to have a good time and have a couple pops and win some games.
Pops, huh?
Yeah. And
wait, is pops what Canadian call beer?
I think. Oh yeah, you guys might have been.
Call beer beer.
Yeah.
You not call a beer a beer?
We'll have a couple beers.
Okay, there. Let's clarify that. All right. So we'll bring a hard one. What do you think about the Canadian Championship game? Not gonna lie,
against York.
Yeah, I don't think that turnout was. What do you think caused that?
Well, I can tell you the business plan behind it. It was the worst disaster that by us having the bye, I couldn't book a date, so I couldn't sell a ticket without a date. And I wasn't allowed to release a game without that. So we decided in the off season to include season ticket holders to the CONCACAF League game, which I think that's the ultimate goal to get to there, and we're there. And I wanted to have a strong base for that game.
Yeah.
I had 9 days. So all our season ticket holders have that in their ticket. Plus, we have a support from Langford. I think we're at 2,000 tickets right now, and we haven't even gone. We go to sale on Monday. The problem with the other game is I had 9 days with 0 tickets.
So that short turnaround, you think, is what really?
Well, you can't do it. Like there's like no one in sports unless it's like Game 7 of some it's impossible.
Unless the built-in fan base is massively there and knows about it. Like this is something where
I've done this. I don't care what sport we're talking or what event it is. If you brought a cool music concert, you can't pull off 9 days, and that's what we were given. So I had to sacrifice that game or the game that I want, which now we're playing team from Jamaica. I think it's great.
I mean, that's international soccer at Starlight.
This is 4 years ago. If you guys would have said, if I would have said to you guys, hey, this is what we got, you're like, there's no way, or that'd be cool. So this is our big day, and that's why I went there.
All right, so we'll bring it back to Canadian soccer, all the kerfuffle that went down in Vancouver. Do you think we'll get a men's game in Victoria?
Yes.
Friendly, or you think it'll actually be?
Well, because we'll have the new stadium next year, we'll be 10,000. If they play a team like Carousel, I think we could. Well, I know we'd sell that out at 10,000. So yes, we're not getting Mexico, we're not getting USA, but we're gonna get a lower level game for sure.
All right. So does that mean you have a schedule for taking down the Hydropole?
Yes, I just talked to Stu. It's gone in April next year, and we haven't announced. He hasn't officially announced it, and Rob and I were just saying, Stu, got to announce this. It's happening. It will be April next year that it is down. Hopefully, the infrastructure starts around Christmas on the groundwork.
Is it going to be the same style as like the newer grandstand, like that log construction, same style?
Maybe not as much of the beautiful wood from Italy. That's gorgeous.
It was, but I don't know. I think that took a while to get here, didn't it?
It did, and it's kind of like a Lego build now. I don't want to downplay it because I'm not a builder or an engineer, but once we start, we're 5 weeks to completion, and
it's got to get up.
It's a 5-week deal, max. Like it could even be 4 weeks once it gets up. So we're there. We're gonna get it. It's gonna be difficult building what our ticket schematic looks like next year. I'm already having nightmares about that because it's not something that we could have 3 games, 4 games, 5 games without the other side still in construction.
So you can't really sell tickets for the side of the stadium that doesn't exist. Like nobody can buy a season ticket for that yet.
We don't know. We're gonna maybe sell the quarter season. We'll figure it out. But
it's gonna be fun. It sounds like.
It doesn't sound fun to me.
I mean, it sounds fun for us to watch.
It'll be cool. You know what it is. And Stu's right over there. I'd take the camera over there, but he'd kill me if I put it on him like that. But
he keeps asking me to talk to him. So.
Did he?
The producer behind the camera keeps asking me to talk to him.
Oh yeah. Don't. Literally 5-10 minutes ago, Rob and I had the same conversation, and we're like, we need the date. He goes, it's April, guys. Like I said, Langford's already paid to BC Hydro the money. It's happening.
Money's in place. Construction just has to happen.
Correct.
We are excited about that. Now you got to make me look up a question. All right. When are we going to see another food truck besides the Greek truck?
Did you guys do the survey today or yesterday?
I did a work survey. Probably not your survey yet.
Oh. It's tough, right? Like I'd love to have a few more out there and have a commitment, a few more. Like I'd love to have Salt Truck out there. I'm working on it. I might buy my own food truck and put it out there. Free food.
You got to find somebody that can make
food.
Barbecue.
Yep.
I don't think there's many barbecue trucks in the area, but that would be a killing
I don't disagree. I like
Sold barbecue sandwiches.
I like it.
Oh, so I do like the rest of the in-game stuff. I think it's really good. Good concessions, but it's just, man, that one food truck, I'm tired of seeing it.
I get it. I like it.
Got to do a rotation, man.
It's not as easy as just invite.
Oh, I know. And they're in high demand. Like the thing I just mentioned, where there's all kinds of other events going on, it's probably hard to find a food truck these days.
It is, but it's not. We understand.
Have you ever thought of maybe just looking for like a catering style something?
I think in my contract says I can only have food trucks because they.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, because I know there's still catering companies around who like cater an event and sell, but that's different. Depends on the contract.
Yeah, a little bit more difficult to pull that off.
That's true. Well, I'm definitely excited to see the hydro pole come down by April. That sounds like a great plan. You cool about that plan?
Start in April, done 5 weeks later. If they start April 15th, I'll be done before June 1 is from what I'm trying to work on right now.
That's pretty good. That's not too far into the season at that point. So
Correct. I'm going to give Calgary and Halifax all the early games next year.
So our home opener
Opener is going to be June 15th. Nah, it won't
this sounds familiar, where I've seen other teams where they've done this, where they started off on the road because the stadium wasn't done, and then
What do you guys
just
think
had a
about that?
rocket.
What do you think of that? Would that be something that you'd
I've seen it.
entertain?
I've seen it done successfully multiple times, and I think it's a good call because DC United did the same thing. Their stadium was going to be a little late, so they ultimately planned like the first maybe quarter of their season they were on the road, unfortunately. But when they went home, the thing is, when you do that, you stack a home streak.
It's tough, right? It's tough on all levels. You know what? It's part of the conversation, but it's still too early.
Yeah, that home streak was actually amazing from what I remember with DC United. So their MLS teams have done the same thing. It's been successful.
Here's the tough part is we had 4 games, including the ladies' game in April. We had 4 games, including the Canadian Championship in May. I have 2 games late in June. Those 4 and 4 were brutal on everybody. You guys,
Right there with you.
yeah, you guys especially. My staff were fried. The fatigue, like it's nice to spread stuff out. And
The weird part is that wasn't even as bad as previous seasons where we had a game every weekend for a month. Like,
well, it was bad, but it was, and now we're off for 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks, and then we're off for another 3 weeks. And luckily, we have the CONCACAF League game there in early August, and then I think we have 1 game in August, or maybe 1 in late August. And then we got a hard schedule in September. So I don't know. There's no good schedules, but
has there ever been any thoughts about like pre or post game, like concert or anything else at Starlight?
I tried that the first year and it didn't work. Tried to bring my old school baseball stuff, and it didn't work. Yeah, I want to do that.
I've
post.
seen it.
I tried to post. Post didn't work. Pre might work.
I figured I would ask. I know it's been done in other places before.
What kind of music you want? What's your genre?
You know, rockish. Like, you don't want anything too crazy.
Yeah, I'm interested. How about Cool in the Gang? I can get Cool in the Gang.
That doesn't mean rockish. That's old school hip hop, right?
A little disco, isn't it?
It would be intriguing. I don't know how it would work. Who knows? It seems like you have
we've talked
different
about it.
places and venues. Obviously, you have the DJ set up. Like, we
like the
sit right
DJ?
beside it. Yeah, I get along great with him. I keep recommending him songs.
Is he playing anything?
Yeah, he played all the shit I asked him to play.
Love it. Love it.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, we know they are. Until he got his laptop ripped that on one of the times there.
He feels like he's had a couple of tokes every now and again, but he's good.
It's good.
I like him. All right. I don't have a lot more questions. How about you? Got anything to talk about?
For you guys? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
any
excited.
questions, comments?
I'm pretty excited about the Jamaica. What do I got for you guys?
Have you been to Jamaica?
No, but I will be there on probably July 26th.
It sounds like you will be.
I got one for you guys. Are you happy with where you're sitting when we have the other side, or do you want to go somewhere else?
There's always been a divisive subject. I think the only other place we'd want to be is at the bottom of the current grandstand. I think that's one where we've always thought about going. Either in the stands in front of that, or if those stands are gone, at the very bottom rows of that. is one we've always thought about because it's a very traditional spot to be. We still like being behind the goal more than anything. That would just fix our weather issues. And ironically, be back to the actual name of Lakeside because we would be on the lake side of the stadium. That's where the name came from. So that would be the only one I would say if we got moved, that's the one where we've had very divisive conversations about we would sit there.
I think it's important that we listen to that and make it work.
Yeah, because that would be the one where I think we would all take it. We'd be in a corner section or we'd be behind the stands or behind the goal as we were before, but we wouldn't be staring at the sun for every afternoon game.
Right.
Those kind of hurt.
Good tifo.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. We're having conversations about using the rugby netting that's behind our current stands for tifo because that is one advantage of it being there right now.
Let me talk to rugby so they don't get mad at me.
Well, it's being talked about through other people. They're asking that exact conversation about if we rig up to those rugby nets, would it fly, would it not? It'll be intriguing if it happens. We're hoping it will because it definitely opens up options for, hoisting tifo, which have you seen other major sports teams?
Yeah, no, for sure.
They're doing that. You've seen Portland, have you seen Seattle, you've seen some of the bigger teams, they hoist their tifo. They don't hold it up. They make it loud to where it takes up the whole side of the stadium.
So we understand that part, and we'll have conversation once we get to September when it gets closer. But that's the only thing that comes to mind that sticks out for me talking to you guys about anything.
Yeah, the thing is if we're in that grandstand, it means we have a lot. As supporters, we're going to have a lot more interaction with other people. We're kind of on an island right now.
I get it.
We're on an island, like, preaching to other islands. We're not, like, directly interacting with other people.
It is cool when we score in the boys' jump.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Think it's any cooler than that. I've had complaints from teams that you guys are too close, and that's cool, too.
And that's the other thing where I was saying the stands on the other end behind the stadium or in front of the grandstand would be perfect because it gets us both worlds. It gets us in the shade. It gets us closer.
Or you want to be in the bleachers on the other side.
That's what I'm thinking would be the best.
The problem is when we get the new stadium, those bleachers will only be deployed when it's a big sellout game. So that's why we're probably talking maybe in the West Grandstand.
Yeah, that would be an option too. Like, I also come from DC United where they had the weirdest supporter section ever, where they started their first 10 years of the league with a sideline supporter section to where every time you saw a camera shot, it was supporters. So there are options for being in a sideline stand. We've always done corners though, or it's been close to the corners or it's been behind a goal.
Like it.
I think it'll definitely be conversations worth having in the future because we don't know.
Yeah. That's my only question.
That's a good one, and that's one where we got to talk even among ourselves, but it may just come down to what are the options.
Well, let's think about Jamaica. I got meetings tomorrow with CONCACAF.
We're excited. Hey, if you've made a charter plane big enough, you can fit the team and a bunch of fans on it.
I'm talking to Stu about it right now.
Because we would go. I guarantee you could get half a plane full of just supporters.
We're gonna look at it and see if we can get some pricing for fans. Stu's already. I think Stu says he's going, which is great. The mayor of Langford's gonna get like this. That's that guy right there is the reason why we're here. So,
at the very least, we were looking at the travel plans, and they were talking 34 hours from here to Jamaica. We got to make at least an easier trip than that if we charter.
I think we can go to Toronto a little quicker and then down that way, can't we?
I don't know. I mean, that's flying domestic. It was 34 hours.
I looked at the Nicaragua one, and it was about that too. Yeah, that's tough. We got to be careful where we go with visas too, right? It's easier to go from Vancouver to Mexico and then Mexico to Jamaica, I think.
Depending on the visas, that's the thing.
There's a lot of infrastructure that it kind of scares us, and we've looked at that. So we want to kind of stay away from the States and probably go straight to Mexico or go to Toronto and Jamaica. So
yeah, and that's one where if it was a charter flights, we get around a lot of that because you just skip whole big countries you don't want to stop at.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to happen, but we'll look at it.
Hey, you never know. Hey, you got to float the idea, man. That's the idea.
Like the idea.
All right, man. Brad, thank you for the questions.
All right.
Good talking to you.
Well done.